There are times when we overuse the phrase, my life was changed, but it's not an exaggeration for me to say that my life was changed through campus ministry and being a part of a church that prioritized ministry to college students when I was in college. And it's one of my favorite things about the University Church. This is a church that was planted with the specific purpose of reaching college students at the University of Alabama. And over the years, God has been really gracious to this church family. He's allowed us to have influence that goes beyond the campus. But that original heart, that dream of reaching students has to always be there. If we ever drift from the heart that we started with, the heart to reach students, we've drifted from our mission. As a church body, it's in our name. We are the University Church of Christ. We've always got to be about the mission of reaching students with the good news of Jesus Christ.
Life is full of transitions. You're aware of that. I'm aware of that right in this moment. My name is Buddy Bell. I used to be a student at University Church, and later I was a campus minister there. And I was sort of used to always being the young guy, the young student, the young campus minister, and now I found myself couched between Neil and Preston as sort of the old guy. Actually, they're asking me to be the old historian, and I guess I'm okay with that, because you just have to change things at times and change what you do. And when I was in Tuscaloosa, moved back there as campus minister, you know that the student ministry had been called UCSC, University Christian Student Center. And we decided in the mid-'80s that we needed to make a name change that would better identify what we're doing as being more than just a building. So we changed it University Christian Ministry. And I remember doing that. A guy named Glenn Griffin working on the logo, those crimson letters with that cross falling through it. We thought it was so cool and so sharp, and it was. But again, life's full of transitions, and so I think you've come to that point again where you want something more descriptive of who you are and what you do, and maybe more concise. Now, the cool thing about this to me is that the mission has never changed. What I've always loved about University Church is that this church was established to reach this campus for Jesus Christ. And you've been so effective at it. And one reason you've been effective is because you've been willing to make changes through the years. And so the mission's not changing, but the name of the student ministry is changing once again. So God bless you as you continue to carry on this great mission in this church and on this campus.
We've had a name that described a building, a name that described a group of students, but now we're looking for a name that will describe the heart of our church and campus ministry. Who are we at our core? What are we all about? And so we spent months praying and thinking about what's that word? What's going to set the culture and cast vision for who we want to be and who we are? And I didn't feel great about it. I didn't have clarity on what the name was, but then it came to me in Israel. When I was in Israel, I had dinner with a world-renowned speaker and scholar, and I asked him, how many people have you led to Jesus? And he said around 1,500 Jews and 400 Gentiles. And I couldn't believe it. I'd never heard of anybody who had reached that many people with the gospel. And so I asked him a follow-up question and said, well, what are the principles that you're passing on to your disciples to help them reach lost people for Jesus? And I'll never forget this moment. His head dropped, his face grimaced, and his voice just was filled with sadness. And he pounded his fist on the table and he said, the single greatest disappointment of my life is that I have not been able to reproduce a hunger to reach the lost in my disciples. And for a guy who's reached over 1,000 people for Jesus, to lay his heart out there and say, I haven't been able to train other people to do that, haven't been able to reproduce that passion to reach people and others. God spoke so clearly to me after months and months of thinking, what's this name going to be? He didn't speak audibly, but he spoke clearly, and he said, Preston, the aim of your life must be to not only reach people, but to reproduce a hunger in the students to reach people. Reach. If we can reach the campus today, we can reach the world tomorrow. Will you join us in reaching students for Jesus?